appreciate what you have, how can people appreciate you from outside? It doesn't happen.
Ghana exalted the leader not only as political head, but as her equivalent of a royal family.
Nkrumah does no wrong. Nkrumah does no wrong.
A new patriotism was instilled into the young.
Nkrumah does no wrong.
Forever live, forever Nkrumah never die, never die, never die. Nkrumah never die, he forever live.
A man who was respected and feared by even the colonial masters and any other political leaders is now being disrespected by the leaders of his own country. The country he had lived all his life for. But this hateful event seemed to have been predicted by one of Africa's great men, Peter Eduche. Before I will take you to Peter Eduche's speech, former President Rawlings had seen this from afar. To him, Nkrumah had always been disrespected by the NPP.
But his enemies also saw him as an enemy to them. Yeah. Now, what happened? Many years later, one ago, Madam Fathia Nkrumah, the wife, no? Jenna Kufoye Okra no coffee no Madam Fathia no coffee or this Jenna a koto dream no more dream no afa handkerchief towel no yes sir oh super ama Madam Fathia na yesu ye nyina na ya dinuchi well na yesu oh before to say or yani papa oh yesu ya fire hanging yesu be you know before the honey of fire spade no the tree hole next to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah no grave no coffee no that's or the tree grave no the Madam Fathia way from that moment. That national monument that we built to honor that man became a family graveyard. Do you see how his grave was desecrated? Mills Moon, John Moon, you have chopped into the man's name. Now what you said, what fine. Look at what his enemy pretended, so and so and so and so. Now desecrate his national monument. You get it? Semi Kanyama Muntiasia. Yeah, we were Mamunim, Philip. And you're fair.
But how did Rawlings treat the body of Nkrumah when Rawlings had the opportunity to lead the country? He prepared a better place for the remains of Nkrumah as an honor.
On this 32nd anniversary of Ghana's Republic Day, we are laying Dr. Nkrumah's remains to rest at the site of his greatest triumph.
The side of which is as beautiful. No down the cheeks of Nkrumah himself and his lieutenants.
In 2012, Peter Eduche, who has seen how Nkrumah has been disrespected, had to give a serious advice to the leaders of Ghana. According to Peter Eduche, there is always a leading hero even in a movie. How much more in real life? And to him, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah will forever remain his favorite African leader of all time.
The reason why most performers from outside Africa don't come to Africa is because they don't get encouraged. I can tell you that, because I trained in the BBC and I know what I'm talking about. Well, having said that, most of those who spoke earlier seem to paint a very bleak future for all of us, because they did not mention that in the past we have done very well. I'm going to tell you a lot of things that you don't know or that you don't wish to remember. First of all, what I'm going to tell you now is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing like the truth. Let you people know that there was a time, if you said from any part of this continent and you went outside the country and you introduce yourself, they will ask you what part of Ghana is that. Do you know that? But I should know that. If you went outside the country, they will ask you what part of Ghana have you come from. It is to tell you how popular Ghana was. Because then, if you saw a map of Ghana, you will see on that map of Ghana Kwame Nkrumah, Osagefo. And at that time, Eduche was the director of sports. I thank all of you for this little opportunity to go back to history and to let you know that as Africa, we have contributed to the development of the outside world and our own continent. And I know that in due course, Africa will make more progress with what I am seeing here, because no other place qualifies to host this kind of occasion than Ghana. And to conclude, when Nasser was the president of Egypt and Nkrumah was the president of Ghana, it was a question of black uniting with the white up there in the north, and the wife of Nkrumah was the daughter of Nasser.
But the new primary school curriculum introduced by the Nana Akufo-Addo's government seemed to be suspicious about the government's intention. Let's take the Class 1 history, for example. Most of the emphasis was on Dr. J.B. Dankwa. According to the Class 1 history about how Ghana got its name, Nkrumah's name was not mentioned at all in events that led to the change of name. At the later part of the book, it was only mentioned that Kwame Nkrumah only supported J.B. Dankwa, something that every average Ghanaian will not agree with. This is not strange because the curriculum was designed under the rule of J.B. Dankwa's favorite nephew, Nana Akufo-Addo. The Founders' Day speech revealed the true intentions of the Akufo-Addo's government about Nkrumah.
Please, I speak to you this evening, rejecting completely the notion that Ghana was founded by one man. Whilst Kwame Nkrumah's contributions to our independence are undeniable and unassailable, it is important to acknowledge for our self-respect that the struggle for our nation's freedom was a collective effort spanning several generations. The formation of the Aborigines Rights Protection Society, the British West African National Congress, jointly sponsored by Joseph K. Hayford and Thomas Hatton Mills, the United Gold Coast Convention, the work of countless unsung heroes, and the tenacious spirit of our people all played vital parts in bringing us to freedom and independence.
A speech which has been criticized by various groups, including religious leaders and African scholars.
You know, comparison by a to yadia woo you. Can one found the ama compare will be yadia. Who Bonkrumedi? Anybody who was here, anybody who wants to win election in this country, if you disrespect Nkrumah, it will not be well with you. I'm telling you the truth and the fact very straight, that you can't compare yourself to any work that Nkrumah did. Don't compare my feet and kind of Nkrumah. I'm telling you, this one is a legacy.
to this nation. People see this guy like one of the angels that God gave this. Mama Tiana and Pinsi Muruki Kana. Najuba my mother Momo Beckham. Ariana and by my toilet is seeing his.
But the New Patriotic Party members think that the president's speech is only making things worse for their presidential candidate. Earlier in July, their running mate also made a comment that did not go well for their political party.
President Kufuor to call retirement. But if the start case we say if we say Ghana from 1957, ever can the president be our Ghana chair and Dr Kufuor. Messi if 1957, back can what form of Kwame Nkrumah no, what form of Obia the one the Mampania, what book Ghana who buy, and the Ghana call him China and Dr Kufuor.
But there's one particular person in the New Patriotic Party who doesn't support what the leaders are doing. Honorable Kennedy Ajapong.
I believe in Kwame Nkrumah, although I'm UP. Read my lips. You can say it till the next day. I believe in Nkrumah. You see, they did a lot of propaganda. Yeah. And looking at what Ghanaians are behaving, our behavior today, we needed Nkrumah that time. Yeah. You can hang me, I still stand by what I'm saying. Akosombo testers, just everything that Kwame Nkrumah did for this country, he was over 200 years ahead of his peers for time. I know where the criticisms will come from, but that is me. I'm not a young man anymore. I'm going to be 64 years. I've done my analysis, my studies, and he's a great man. No doubt about it. We have to emulate him. Okay? And we have to have that drive and dream big, think big, do things big. We tend to give positions to myopic thinkers. Yeah. And the people that you appoint them don't even know how to make money themselves. How can they make money for the government?
As for Nana Akufo-Addo, he has served both of his 2 terms, so I understand him if he wants to tell the world that his family members also helped save Ghana, so Ghanaians should praise his ancestors. But the ones who might suffer it are those who are working hard to let their political party remain in power. But to Peter Eduche, a country which doesn't honor her hero, what will that country achieve? Our channel was rated as one of the best performing channels in July by YouTube team. Thank you for your support, your comments, likes, and above all, thank you for subscribing. Those who haven't subscribed, do it for your AI pilot. Thank you. This is your AI pilot, piloting throughout Ghana and Africa.
Rumor that now, as you turn in your grave, if you had been alive, you'd possibly be 107 years today. But your people, some of them, in their lack of wisdom, chose to remove you from power. I apologize on their behalf. They gave you only a few years to be present in this world. And during those few years that you are present in this world, you shook not only Ghana but Africa so very fundamentally.